The quiet struggle with sleepless nights. Take a gentle breath with me for just a moment. Picture yourself lying in bed, the lights off, the world around you quiet, but your mind? Wide awake, restless, spinning with thoughts that just won't settle. Maybe it's memories of things you wish you'd done differently, worries about what tomorrow might bring, or simply the never-ending to-do list you carry everywhere. The harder you try to fall asleep, the more distant it feels, like chasing the horizon but never quite reaching it. Sound familiar? If you're nodding along, you're definitely not alone. Every night, millions of people across the world find themselves caught in this exhausting cycle, body tired, mind on overdrive. You may find yourself lying there, eyes wide open, longing for rest that just won't come. And the more you try to force sleep, the more it slips through your fingers. It's no wonder that so many of us start searching for solutions, desperate for relief. Maybe you've tried sleeping pills, hoping for a shortcut to rest. Or you turn on a white noise machine, letting its gentle hum fill the silence. Some of us scroll endlessly on our phones, watch late-night TV, or try anything to distract the mind. But if you've ever noticed, these fixes often work for a night or two, and then, just like that, the cycle returns. You wake up feeling just as tired, or maybe even more worn out than before. Here's a gentle invitation to consider. What if the answer isn't about doing more, or finding the next new sleep hack? What if deep, nourishing sleep is not something you chase, but something you welcome? Imagine if, instead of wrestling with your restless thoughts, you could simply let them be, letting go, just as you might set down a heavy bag at the end of a long journey. This isn't just wishful thinking. There's an ancient wisdom that's been quietly shared for centuries, a wisdom found in Buddhist philosophy. The Buddha once taught that true peace doesn't come from solving every problem, but from finding a sense of release within. Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. These words are not just about meditation or spiritual practice. They speak to how we live, and yes, even how we sleep. When we approach rest as something to be conquered or controlled, we turn bedtime into another battle. We measure our nights by how quickly we drift off, how many hours we clock, or how productive our sleep is. But the truth is, the more we grasp, the more elusive peace becomes. What if, instead, we approached sleep as an act of trust? What if we practiced welcoming each moment, each breath, each thought, each sensation without resistance? When we shift from fighting to allowing, something quietly changes. The mind begins to soften, the body starts to relax, and rest, rather than something we hunt for, becomes something that gently finds us. Tonight, as you listen, I invite you to let go, just for a moment of the need to fix, to solve, or to get everything right. Let's explore together a new way of relating to sleep and rest, a way rooted in compassion, presence, and letting go. Because peace, as the Buddha teaches, is not found by chasing it out in the world. It's found by returning to ourselves, exactly as we are, in this gentle, sleepless moment. So, take another slow breath, and let's begin this journey, one where you're not alone and where a deeper, quieter kind of rest is always within reach. Understanding why we struggle to sleep. The root cause of mental clinging. Let's take a moment to gently explore a question so many of us carry with us, often in silence, especially as the night grows quiet. Why is it that sleep can feel so far away, even when our bodies are begging for rest? Why, despite all our best efforts, does the mind refuse to settle down when we need it most? If you've ever found yourself lying awake, replaying memories, or worrying about tomorrow, know that this is not just your personal struggle. It's a deeply human experience, shared by countless others. But what if the real root of sleeplessness isn't just in our routines or even in our external circumstances, but in the way our minds latch on to thoughts and feelings? Let's pause here and consider something you might not hear every day.
Most of us think of attachment as something to do with material things or relationships. Maybe it's the job you want, the house you're saving for, or the connections you're afraid to lose. But Buddhist wisdom suggests that attachment runs even deeper. It's not just about what we hold in our hands, it's about what we hold in our minds. Have you noticed how thoughts can become like waves in the ocean? One moment you're remembering a mistake from years ago, the next you're worrying about a bill, or wondering if you said the right thing to a friend. These mental waves rise and fall, again and again, refusing to let the mind grow still. And just like the sea on a windy day, the more you try to push away these waves, the rougher the waters become. Maybe you're replaying regrets, the conversation you wish had gone differently, or a chance you didn't take. Or maybe you're caught in a storm of worry about your health, your family, the future, the state of the world. Sometimes it's the weight of expectations. I should have accomplished more. I shouldn't feel this anxious. Tomorrow must be better than today. These attachments to what was, what could be, or what should be keep our minds restless and unsettled. Here's a simple question worth reflecting on. Have you ever noticed how your mind seems to cling almost desperately to unfinished stories? Maybe you think, if I can just figure out this one problem, then I'll be able to relax. But the truth is, the mind will always find something else to hold on to. It's like an ocean that never truly stops moving. And the more we try to control or suppress these thoughts, the more energy we give them. I'd like to share a little perspective from my own experience. For years, I believed that if I could just check everything off my list before bed, I'd finally be able to sleep peacefully. I'd replay the day's events in my mind, going over what I should have said or done. But the peace I was searching for never came. Not because I didn't work hard enough, but because I was clinging to the idea that peace was something I had to earn by solving every problem. Buddhist philosophy gently invites us to see that it's not the waves themselves that cause suffering. It's our resistance to them, our need to control them. The more we identify with our thoughts, the more power they have over us. But when we learn to observe them, simply noticing them come and go without judgment, we begin to soften our grip. The ocean of the mind is still there, but we're no longer being tossed around by every wave. So tonight, as you prepare for rest, I invite you to gently ask yourself, what thoughts are you clinging to right now? Are there regrets, worries, or expectations that are keeping your mind in motion? What if, just for tonight, you allowed those waves to rise and fall without needing to ride them or push them away? What would it feel like to let go, even for a moment, and allow your mind to be as it is? Remember, you are not alone in this experience. The restless mind is a universal part of being human. But by becoming aware of our attachments, not just to things or people, but to our thoughts, we can begin to loosen their hold. And in that gentle letting go, the doorway to rest and peace quietly opens. Let's continue this journey together, one breath, one moment, one gentle wave at a time.
The Farmer's Story: Finding Peace with Imperfection. Let me share a story, a simple one, but with a lesson as deep as the ocean. Maybe you'll recognize yourself in it, as I often have. There was once a farmer who couldn't sleep. Every night, his mind filled up with endless worries. My crops are struggling. My son doesn't listen to me. My wife worries too much. I have too many problems and I can't find peace. Sound familiar? Maybe you've had nights where, no matter how exhausted you felt, your mind just wouldn't let you rest. One worry leading to the next, like dominoes falling in your mind. In his desperation, the farmer traveled to see the Buddha, hoping for a solution that would finally put his heart at ease. He poured out all his troubles, his fields, his family, the endless responsibilities that weighed on him. After listening patiently, the Buddha gave an answer that was at once gentle and profound. He told the farmer, "I cannot take away your problems. There will always be 83 problems in life. When you solve one, another will take its place. The key is learning not to suffer over them." Pause for a moment and really feel the meaning of that. How often do we believe that if we could just fix one more thing, pay off that last bill, mend that one relationship, finish that never-ending to-do list, then we'll finally feel at peace? But life, just like the farmers, always seems to bring us one more problem the moment we think we've finished with the last. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking peace is somewhere out there, waiting for us on the other side of every solved problem. I know I've spent nights believing that if I just organized my life a little better or worked a little harder, rest would come. But peace, real peace, isn't found in controlling every detail or making life problem-free. That's like trying to hold back the tide with your hands. Instead, Buddhist wisdom invites us to look at our relationship with our thoughts. What if the challenge isn't to remove every wave of worry, but to stop letting each one knock us down? What if we could learn to ride the ups and downs of life with a gentler heart? Let's come back to the farmer. He expected the Buddha to hand him a way to finally fix everything, to erase his struggles, to quiet every doubt. But what he received was far more liberating: permission to live with imperfection, to accept that life's challenges will always be there in some form, and to learn a new way to meet them. So tonight, if your mind is busy listing all the things that aren't right, big or small, try asking yourself, what if peace doesn't depend on getting everything under control? What if the real secret is changing how we respond to life's constant changes? Imagine this. Instead of battling every thought, every worry, we could simply watch them come and go, like clouds drifting across the sky. They're real, yes, but they don't have to decide the quality of our night or the depth of our rest. It takes practice, of course. It takes reminding ourselves, sometimes gently, sometimes over and over, that being alive means facing problems, that it's okay if life isn't perfectly solved. The Buddha's message to the farmer is the same for us. You can choose not to suffer over what cannot be controlled. As you settle in for the night, notice if you're clinging to that 84th problem, the hope that you'll find peace only when everything is fixed. Maybe just for tonight, let it go. Let peace find you in the middle of life's beautiful, chaotic imperfection. Stay with me, because in the next part, we'll gently explore how to start changing our relationship with these thoughts and discover practical steps to welcome more peace into our nights. Margaret's story, Finding Stillness in a Restless Mind. Let me share a story that might feel a little too familiar, a story of sleepless nights and a mind that simply won't let go. It's about a woman named Margaret. Maybe, in some way, you'll see a bit of yourself in her. Every night, Margaret would lie in bed, the house finally quiet after a long day. But as soon as her head hit the pillow, her mind would come alive, racing from one worry to the next. Did I remember to pay that bill? Is my grandson doing okay in school? What if my health starts to slip? Her thoughts would spiral, one leading to another, pulling her further away from rest. No matter how tired her body was, her mind refused to settle. Does that sound familiar? I know I've had my fair share of nights just like Margaret's. It's almost as if, when the world grows quiet, our worries get louder, like a chorus we never asked to join. One evening, feeling especially exhausted, Margaret confided in a friend, someone who had weathered many sleepless nights of her own. The friend didn't offer complicated advice or a new remedy. Instead, she offered a simple image. Margaret, your mind is like a glass of water. When you keep stirring it with worries, the water just gets cloudier. But if you set the glass down and let it rest, the sediment slowly settles. The water becomes clear again. This gentle metaphor planted a seed in Margaret's heart. That night, instead of trying to chase sleep or force her thoughts away, she decided to do something different. She sat quietly at the edge of her bed, placed her feet flat on the floor, and took a long, slow breath. She let her thoughts swirl, but she didn't engage with them. She just watched.
She reminded herself, "Tonight, I don't need to solve everything. The world will still be here tomorrow." With each breath, she felt her body begin to relax. The worries didn't vanish, but their grip loosened. She wasn't wrestling with her mind anymore. She was allowing it to find its own stillness. And slowly, almost surprisingly, she found herself drifting off to sleep. The wisdom here isn't about ignoring our problems or pretending that life is perfect. It's about recognizing that sometimes the very act of trying to fix everything in our minds only stirs the water more. The more we resist our worries, the stronger they seem to get. But if we can learn to simply pause, breathe, and allow things to settle, a kind of natural clarity emerges. Sleep, it turns out, is less about conquering the mind and more about making space for peace to arise on its own. So, let me ask you, how often do you find yourself stirring the waters of your own mind, thinking that just a little more effort, just one more solved problem, will finally bring you rest? What if, just for tonight, you tried Margaret's approach? What if you gave yourself permission to sit quietly, to let the worries settle, to trust that not everything needs to be solved before you can rest? You might find, as Margaret did, that peace isn't something you have to force. Sometimes, all it takes is a single mindful breath, a moment of stillness, and the gentle reminder that you are allowed to let go, even if only for tonight. And as you drift into sleep, may you remember, your mind, like a glass of water, has the power to clear itself, if only you allow it to rest. Stay with me as we continue to explore the art of letting go and how a simple shift in perspective can open the door to the restful nights you've been searching for.
The power of letting go. Practical techniques for releasing before sleep. Let's take a quiet pause together and ask a question we often forget in the rush of daily life. What if the greatest secret to peaceful sleep isn't in doing more, but in letting go? There's a timeless story from Buddhist tradition that speaks to this. One evening, a young monk approached his teacher with a sincere question. "Master, how is it that you sleep so soundly every night?" he asked. The teacher smiled, took off his robe, and folded it with care. "Before bed, I remove my robe and set it aside. I do the same with my thoughts. I let them go for the night." This simple gesture, folding his robe, folding his thoughts, carries a profound wisdom. Imagine how heavy it would feel to carry your bags and belongings everywhere you go, even into bed. Yet so many of us carry the weight of our worries about work, relationships, health, or the future long after the day is done. No wonder restful sleep feels out of reach. Let me share a story that brings this idea home. Eleanor, a woman in her 60s, struggled for years to fall asleep. Every night, her mind replayed old conversations, anxieties about her health, concerns about her children. She tried everything: herbal teas, relaxing music, even late-night walks. But the harder she pushed her thoughts away, the more persistent they became. Maybe you know that feeling too. The mind can be relentless, especially when we try to force it into silence. It's like trying to smooth out water by pressing down on its surface. The more pressure, the more it ripples. One evening, a close friend offered Eleanor a new approach. Instead of battling her worries or pretending they didn't exist, the friend invited her to simply write them down. "Give your thoughts a place to rest outside your mind," she suggested. So Eleanor sat quietly at her bedside, took out a notebook, and began to write down everything weighing on her heart, big things and small. She didn't try to fix them, just acknowledged each one as it came. When she finished, she gently closed the notebook and whispered to herself, "I'll come back to these tomorrow. Tonight, I choose to rest." It sounds simple, but that night, Eleanor noticed a shift. Her thoughts, now safely tucked away on the page, no longer chased her into sleep. She was finally able to relax, her mind and body settling into the peace she'd been searching for. This is the heart of Buddhist practice. Not escaping our problems or pretending they don't matter, but choosing not to carry them all the time. Like setting down a heavy bag, we learn to trust that the world will continue spinning even if we pause to rest. So let me ask you, what worries are you holding on to tonight? Are you carrying them into bed, hoping to solve everything before morning? What if you gave yourself permission to let them go, just for now? Here's a gentle practice you can try tonight. Write down your thoughts. Give each worry a name and a space on the page. You're not getting rid of them, just setting them aside. Remind yourself, I can return to these tomorrow. For tonight, I choose rest. Imagine letting go, like setting down your bags at the door and stepping into a peaceful space just for you. As you close your eyes, remember the monk and his robe, the wisdom of consciously releasing what's heavy, if only for the night. Rest isn't something you earn by fixing every problem. It's a gift you allow yourself when you choose to let go. Stay with me, because in our next part, we'll explore even more gentle techniques to help you welcome sleep and peace night after night. Rituals and practical techniques for letting go before sleep. Let's pause for a moment together and consider something powerful. What if bedtime could become a sacred ritual? A time not just for closing your eyes, but for letting go of the burdens you've carried all day. Tonight, I want to share with you a few simple yet transformative practices. Gentle rituals inspired by Buddhist wisdom designed to help you ease your mind and invite true rest. The first practice is beautifully straightforward: writing down your thoughts. Before you climb into bed, take a quiet moment with a pen and paper. Write down every worry, every lingering thought, no matter how big or small. This isn't about solving each problem right now. It's about acknowledging what's on your mind and gently setting it down, at least for the night. Imagine each word as a pebble you've been carrying in your pocket. Now, one by one, you place them on the table, freeing yourself from their weight. You might be surprised how much lighter you feel, how just seeing your thoughts on the page can create space in your mind for rest. The second ritual is a visualization, an act of imagination that can become a bridge to deep calm. Picture each worry, each regret, each tension in your body as a tiny paper lantern. As you settle in, close your eyes and imagine yourself standing beside a gentle river at night. One by one, you place your worries into these lanterns, setting them afloat on the water. Watch as the lanterns drift away, carried by the current, their soft light fading gently into the distance. You're not denying your problems. You're simply choosing to release them, to let them be carried by the flow of life for now. This visualization can become a powerful way to signal to your mind, it's time to rest. I can return to these things tomorrow. Another practice, simple but profound, is to repeat a letting go mantra before bed. A mantra is just a phrase, but when spoken with intention, it can shift your whole state of being. Try saying, softly or silently, I release this day. I have done enough. Now is the time for rest. Let these words be a gentle boundary between your waking life and your time for sleep. Sometimes just hearing your own voice speak words of permission to rest, to stop striving, to simply be, can help your mind and body relax in a way nothing else can. And here's an image that I return to again and again: the empty cup. A Zen master once asked his student, if your cup is already full, how can you receive more tea? In the same way, if your mind is overflowing with plans, worries, judgments, there's simply no room for sleep. So each night, before you drift off, ask yourself, what can I empty from my mind tonight? Even a little bit of space, a single unburdened thought, can make all the difference. You might wonder, can these rituals really change how you sleep? I invite you to try them, just for a few nights. Make bedtime a quiet ceremony, your own time for acknowledgement and release. Notice if your mind begins to settle, if your breath becomes a little deeper, if sleep finds you with less effort.
Remember, letting go isn't about ignoring your life or your responsibilities. It's about giving yourself permission to pause, to set down what's heavy, and to trust that the world will keep turning until morning. So, as you prepare for sleep tonight, consider which ritual calls to you. Maybe it's writing your thoughts, visualizing lanterns on water, repeating a gentle mantra, or simply picturing your mind as an empty cup ready to be filled with rest. In these small acts of letting go, you create space for peace to enter. And perhaps as you drift into sleep, you'll discover a quiet freedom you didn't know was possible. Stay with me, because on this journey, every small step toward letting go is a step closer to true rest.
The breath, a bridge to the present moment and restful sleep. Let's slow down together for a moment and take a breath. Just a simple, gentle breath in and out. You might be surprised at how something so basic, so often overlooked, can be one of your greatest allies in finding peace and sleep. Tonight, let's explore the power of breath, not just as a biological function, but as a bridge between the busy mind and a restful body. In Buddhist practice, breath is often described as an anchor, something steady to hold on to when thoughts start to drift or waves of emotion threaten to pull us away. When our minds are full, when sleep seems distant, it's easy to feel lost in the currents of regret, worry, or restless energy. But your breath is always here, waiting quietly to guide you back to the present moment. Let me share with you the story of Haruto, a retired craftsman from Kyoto. For most of his life, Haruto's hands were busy, carving intricate designs into wood, losing himself in the quiet focus that his craft required. But as the years passed and he stepped away from his workshop, Haruto found himself struggling with sleepless nights. He tried herbal teas, warm baths, counting sheep. Nothing seemed to quiet the chatter of his mind. One evening, he visited an old friend, a Buddhist monk who had practiced meditation for decades. Haruto confessed, "I've tried everything. My mind just won't stop racing when I lie down." The monk smiled, poured a cup of tea, and after a moment asked, "Did you have to think about drinking this tea?" Haruto shook his head. "No, I just drank." The monk nodded. "Breathing is the same. You do not need to force sleep. You simply need to return to your breath." That night, instead of fighting with his thoughts or trying to make himself sleep, Haruto shifted his focus. He felt the gentle rise and fall of his breath. Let each inhale and exhale guide him. The tension in his body began to melt away, and for the first time in years, sleep found him naturally. There's a powerful lesson here. When we stop chasing rest and simply return to the breath, we discover a sense of stillness that was always within us. Maybe you'd like to try this with me right now. Take a slow breath in. Notice where you feel it most, maybe in your chest or your belly. Then breathe out, gently, as if you're letting go of the whole day. No need to control, no need to judge. Just let your breath flow in its own natural rhythm. If your thoughts wander, that's okay. Each breath is a new beginning, a chance to start again. Over time, this simple practice of mindful breathing can become your bridge to the present moment, a safe harbor from the storms of the mind. And here's something modern science has confirmed. Slow, deep breathing activates your body's relaxation response. It lowers your heart rate, eases tension, and signals that you are safe. But beyond science, this is an ancient wisdom, reminding us that peace is never far away. It's as close as your next breath. So, as you prepare for sleep tonight, remember Haruto's story. Don't fight your mind, and don't chase sleep. Just come back to your breath, again and again. Trust that with each gentle inhale and exhale, you're creating space for rest to find you, softly naturally, like a calm lake reflecting the moon. Stay with me, because in the next part, we'll explore how to deepen this practice and gently guide both body and mind into true relaxation.
Guided breathing, creating a bridge to deep sleep. Now that we've explored how the breath can be our anchor, I'd like to guide you through a simple practice, a breathing technique that can help ease your mind and invite restful sleep, even on the most restless nights. Let's do this together. Find a comfortable position, either lying down in bed or sitting quietly where you are. Let your hands rest gently, one hand placed over your chest and the other on your belly. Take a moment to simply notice the gentle rise and fall beneath your palms. This is your starting point, a place of presence, a place of possibility. As you settle in, begin by taking a slow, deep breath in through your nose. If you like, you can count silently to 4 as you breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Feel your belly expand under your hand, like a soft balloon filling with air. With this inhale, imagine you're drawing in calm, nourishment, and clarity. Now, exhale gently through your mouth or nose, counting slowly to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As you breathe out, let your body relax a little more with each number. Picture any tension or worry in your mind melting away, carried off by your breath. Each exhale is a small act of letting go, a wave returning gently to the shore. Let's try this a few more times together. Breathe in, counting to 4. Belly rising, chest open. And breathe out, counting to 6. Body softening, worries drifting away. If your mind wanders, that's completely okay. Just notice it, and with your next breath, gently bring your attention back to the feeling of your hand on your chest and your belly. Let each cycle of breath remind you that you are here, right now, exactly as you need to be. You might even want to silently repeat a simple phrase with each breath, like a gentle mantra. On the inhale, I am here. On the exhale, I am safe. Or maybe, I am at peace. Let the words flow quietly with your breath, becoming softer and softer with each repetition. These are not just affirmations, they're invitations for your body and mind to rest, to trust that you are safe and held even if the day has been long. Now, you may be wondering, why does this work so well? There's a gentle science behind it. When you slow your breathing, especially the exhale, you activate what's called the parasympathetic nervous system. This is your body's natural relaxation response, the opposite of fight or flight. It lowers your heart rate, reduces blood pressure, and sends a signal to every cell. It's okay to let go. It's time to rest. You don't need to force anything. You don't need to chase sleep. Your breath is always here, patiently waiting to lead you home to yourself. So tonight, if you find your mind racing or your heart uneasy, return to this practice. Feel your hands, follow your breath, and trust the wisdom of your body. Each gentle inhale and long, soft exhale is a bridge, carrying you from wakefulness to a place of deep, healing rest. Let's carry this practice forward as we move together towards a quieter mind and a more peaceful night. In our next segment, we'll explore another ancient tool for inviting rest, the mindfulness body scan.
Mindful body scan, guiding mind and body into deep relaxation. Let's slow things down together and turn inward for a moment, a gentle pause before the night fully arrives. Have you ever noticed that just when you're ready for sleep, your mind decides it wants to wander? Suddenly, it's replaying old conversations, planning tomorrow's errands, or drifting into worries that seem to have no end. This restless mind can keep us from finding the deep, healing rest we long for. But what if, instead of fighting the mind, we gently invited it back into the body? Buddhist practice teaches that true relaxation begins when mind and body reunite, when our awareness is anchored in the sensations of the present moment. Let me share a story that beautifully illustrates this. Robert, a retired schoolteacher, had struggled with sleepless nights for years. No matter what he tried, counting sheep, reading late into the evening, even changing his diet, his thoughts would race on and on as soon his head touched the pillow. One evening, feeling particularly worn out, Robert visited a meditation teacher in his neighborhood. Instead of offering sleep tips, the teacher handed him a warm cup of tea and said, "For the next few minutes, do nothing but drink your tea. Notice how the cup feels in your hands, the warmth, the smoothness. Smell the aroma, let it fill your senses. Feel the gentle weight of the cup. Sip slowly and just be here with your tea." At first, Robert was skeptical, but as he sat quietly, tuning in to the details, the touch, the temperature, the simple act of holding and sipping, something shifted. His thoughts began to slow, his shoulders relaxed, and the restlessness in his chest softened. He realized that by bringing his mind back to the sensations of the body, he was gently coaxing it out of its loops of worry and into a state of calm presence. That night, Robert brought the same mindful awareness to bed. Instead of following his thoughts, he focused on the feel of the sheets, the softness of the pillow, the steady rhythm of his breath. Little by little, his body relaxed, and his mind followed. Sleep, for the first time in a long while, arrived easily and naturally. The lesson here is simple but profound. When we invite our wandering mind to come home to the body, we create space for deep relaxation. Mindful attention to the body, whether it's through a cup of tea, a gentle stretch, or the feeling of the bed beneath us, serves as a bridge from scattered thoughts to peaceful rest. So, the next time you find your mind drifting at bedtime, try this. Notice what you're feeling right now. Your hands, your feet, the contact of your body with the mattress. Let your attention settle on these sensations, like a leaf settling on the surface of still water. Ask yourself, gently, can I simply be here, in this body, in this moment, without needing to fix or change anything? Allow each breath to anchor you deeper into relaxation. The mind will wander, of course. That's what minds do. But each time you notice it drifting, invite it back, again and again, to the simple, comforting sensations of your body at rest. In this mindful reunion of body and mind, you'll discover a doorway to the peace you've been searching for. Sometimes all it takes is a single moment of awareness, a sip of tea, the feeling of soft sheets, the quiet rise and fall of breath, to remind you that you're already home. Stay with me, because in our next segment, we'll walk together through a gentle body scan practice, a step-by-step guide to inviting deep relaxation and preparing your whole being for sleep.
Guided mindful body scan for relaxation and sleep. Now that we've explored the gentle art of inviting the mind back into the body, I'd like to guide you through a simple but powerful practice, the mindful body scan. Think of this as a gift you can offer yourself each night, a way to bring yourself home to the present, to ease tension, and to welcome deep, restorative sleep. Let's begin together. Find a comfortable position in your bed, letting your arms rest naturally at your sides. Close your eyes if you like, or simply let your gaze soften. Take a slow, deep breath in. And then exhale, feeling the day begin to fall away. Now, we'll gently move our attention through the body, one area at a time. Start with your feet. Notice any sensations there, the contact with the sheets, perhaps a sense of warmth or coolness. Imagine your feet are sinking into a pool of warm water, any tension or restlessness slowly melting away. Allow your feet to feel heavy, relaxed, supported. Next, bring your awareness up to your legs. Notice your calves and thighs. Are they holding any tightness? If so, give them permission to let go. Picture the muscles loosening, softening, as if warm sunlight is washing over them, bringing relief and ease. Move your attention now to your abdomen. Notice the gentle rise and fall of your breath. With each exhale, allow your belly to relax a little more, letting go of any knots or tightness you might be holding there. Imagine this area filling with comfort, softening with every breath. Shift your focus to your hands and arms. Feel the weight of your arms resting by your sides. If your hands are clenched, allow the fingers to uncurl. Notice the simple sensation of your hands against the fabric, and let a wave of relaxation flow from your fingertips up to your shoulders. Now, bring your awareness to your shoulders, neck, and upper back. These are places where stress likes to linger. Imagine them dropping down, releasing the weight of the day. With every breath, let your shoulders grow heavier, more at ease. Move to your face. Unclench your jaw. Soften your lips, your cheeks, your forehead. Let your eyes rest gently in their sockets. Imagine a sense of calm spreading across your entire face, like a warm breeze on a peaceful evening. Finally, direct your awareness to the crown of your head. Picture a wave of relaxation sweeping from the top of your head down through your whole body, like being wrapped in a gentle cocoon of warmth and tranquility. Take a few more slow, steady breaths, enjoying this feeling of deep rest. With each inhale, you invite in peace. With each exhale, you release whatever tension remains. This is more than just relaxation. It's an act of grounding. By bringing attention to your body, you anchor yourself in the here and now, gently stepping away from the whirlwind of thoughts. Whenever your mind wanders, simply bring it back to the sensations of your body. Over time, you'll find this practice makes it easier to let go of worries and slip effortlessly into sleep. So, as you lay here tonight, remember, you can always return to your body, your breath, and this moment. Let your mind rest in the safety of your body and allow sleep to arrive naturally and kindly. In our next session, we'll explore how to treat sleep not just as a necessity, but as a sacred act of renewal. For now, may your night be filled with deep rest and gentle dreams.
Seeing sleep as spiritual practice, the attitude of letting go and healing. Let's take a deep, gentle breath together and imagine this. What if sleep is not just a nightly necessity, but a sacred act? A time to heal, to renew, and to gently let go. In our fast-paced culture, sleep is often seen as wasted time, a pause in productivity, or even a sign of weakness. But Buddhist wisdom offers a very different perspective. Sleep is a sacred time, a spiritual practice, and a profound opportunity to restore both body and mind. I'd like to share a story that beautifully illustrates this lesson. In a quiet monastery, a young monk once approached his teacher, frustrated by his own exhaustion. Every night, he pushed himself to meditate longer and harder, believing that more effort would bring him closer to enlightenment. But the more he forced himself, the more depleted he became. His mind restless, his body aching, his heart unsettled. One evening, the teacher noticed the strain in his student's eyes and gently said, "Come here, let me show you something." The teacher took a bow and handed it to the young monk. "Pull the string as tight as you can," he instructed. The monk did so, and with a snap, the string broke. Then the teacher said, "Now make it so loose that it cannot play." The monk slackened the string, and of course, the bow was useless. No music, no strength. The teacher smiled. "A bowstring pulled too tight will break. Too loose, and it cannot play. The key to harmony is balance, between effort and rest, between striving and surrender." This story carries a lesson that reaches far beyond the monastery walls. How many times have we pushed ourselves through exhaustion, believing that rest is something we must earn? or felt guilty for needing sleep, as if it's a sign that we're not strong enough or dedicated enough. But the truth is, rest is not an indulgence. It's a vital part of life, a gift we offer to ourselves and a foundation for everything we hope to build or become. The Buddha himself taught, "Rest your body, rest your mind. Each day is a new beginning." When we treat sleep as sacred, we recognize that letting go is not weakness, it's wisdom. We learn to trust in the cycle of renewal. Just as day follows night, effort must be balanced with ease. Tonight, as you prepare to rest, I invite you to see your bedtime as a quiet ceremony, a ritual of self-kindness. Let each step you take, from brushing your teeth to turning off the lights, become an act of loving attention. Remind yourself, I am worthy of rest. My body and mind are ready to renew. I let go of today so I can greet tomorrow as something fresh and new. You might ask yourself, what would it feel like to treat sleep not as a break from life, but as a practice within life? A practice of trust, of healing, and of beginning again. Perhaps you'll notice that as you shift your attitude towards sleep, the night becomes less of a struggle and more of a sanctuary. The burdens you carry begin to soften, your heart grows lighter, and you awaken not just with energy, but with a sense of peace and quiet purpose. So tonight, give yourself permission to rest, deeply, fully, with gratitude and trust. Remember, every night offers the chance to begin anew. And in this gentle act of surrender, you may just find a new kind of strength. Stay with me as we continue this journey together, discovering how the smallest shifts in attitude can transform your nights and your life. Changing our attitude towards sleep, from struggle to trust. Let's pause and breathe together for a moment and consider a gentle shift, one that could completely change how you experience your nights. For many of us, sleep becomes something to conquer. We try to force it, demanding rest from our bodies as if we could control it through sheer willpower. I need to sleep now. Why can't I just fall asleep? If I don't sleep, tomorrow will be ruined. Sound familiar? This pressure, this sense of striving, can make sleep even more elusive, turning what should be a time of surrender into yet another battleground. But what if we approached sleep differently? Buddhist wisdom suggests that the more we chase after rest, the further it slips away. The key isn't control, it's invitation. Instead of wrestling with sleep, we can learn to welcome it, just as we'd welcome a gentle guest into our home. Let me share the story of Maria, a woman whose relationship with sleep was transformed by this simple shift in attitude. For years, Maria approached bedtime with a sense of urgency. She counted the hours left until morning, watched the clock, and grew frustrated with every minute she remained awake. The more she demanded sleep, the more anxious and restless she became. One night, feeling especially drained, Maria remembered something her grandmother once told her. The moon doesn't rush to rise. The sun doesn't hurry to set. They trust their own rhythm, and so can you. That evening, Maria decided to try something new. Instead of commanding herself to sleep, she chose to trust her body's natural wisdom. She whispered gently, "My body knows how to rest. I am allowed to surrender." She stopped checking the clock. She let herself simply be, lying quietly, listening to her breath, feeling the softness of the bed beneath her. She imagined sleep as an old friend, arriving whenever the time was right. As she let go of the urge to control, she felt her body begin to unwind. Muscles loosening, breath deepening, thoughts quieting. For the first time in years, Maria drifted into sleep without a struggle. There's a deep lesson here, one that goes beyond bedtime. In so many areas of life, we believe that effort is everything. But sleep asks something different of us. It asks us to soften, to release, to trust. As you prepare for bed tonight, ask yourself, am I trying to conquer sleep, or am I willing to invite it,
gently, patiently, with faith in my body's own rhythm. Here's a little practice you might try. Before turning out the lights, place your hand over your heart and say softly, "Thank you, body, for carrying me through this day. I trust you to know when it's time to rest. I surrender to the rhythm of sleep." Remember, the art of resting is not about forcing the mind to be still, but about learning to let go. The more we soften our grip, the more naturally rest can find us. Stay with me, because in our next part, we'll explore how to set loving intentions before sleep, creating a bridge from the day's busyness to the peace of the night.
The ritual of setting intention before sleep. As we journey deeper into the art of restful sleep, let's explore a powerful but often overlooked practice, the ritual of setting intention before bedtime. Just as a meditation session begins with a gentle intention, you can invite in the night by pausing to set a clear, loving purpose for your rest. Think of this as a way to bridge the busyness of your day with the quiet healing of the night. Before you turn out the lights, find a comfortable spot to sit or lie down. Take a slow, deep breath. Place your hand over your heart, feeling the warmth and rhythm beneath your palm. And then, softly, speak an intention for your sleep. It might sound like this. Tonight, I allow myself deep rest. I release this day with gratitude. I have done enough. Now is the time to let go and renew. Let these words wash over you, not as empty affirmations, but as an honest invitation to your body and mind, a signal that you are ready to surrender and receive the nourishment of sleep. If you like, repeat your intention a few times, letting it settle into your heart as you relax. Setting an intention before sleep is more than a comforting habit. It's a gentle act of self-respect. It tells your mind that it's safe to pause the to-do lists, to set aside the worries, to simply exist in this quiet, healing space. But intention doesn't end when the night is over. When you wake up, you have another opportunity to begin anew, with presence and mindfulness. Before reaching for your phone or jumping into the day's demands, take just a moment to notice your breath. Whisper a simple gratitude. I am grateful for this new day. May I move through it with wisdom and compassion. May my actions bring kindness to myself and others. This simple morning ritual can transform the way you greet each day. It's like tuning a musical instrument, bringing you into harmony before the world's noise arrives. You might wonder, does setting intentions before sleep or upon waking really change anything? Over time, yes. Science now tells us that mindful rituals, no matter how small, help to rewire our brains, creating a sense of stability and calm that lingers long after the ritual itself. But even beyond science, there's something deeply beautiful about choosing to end your day and begin the next with care. It reminds you that you are not just drifting through life, you are living on purpose, gently guiding your experience one breath at a time. So tonight, I invite you to make this ritual your own. What do you most need from your sleep? What quality, peace, healing, clarity do you wish to invite in? Speak it softly to yourself, and trust that your body and mind will listen. And as you rise tomorrow, carry your intention into the new day. Let it shape your thoughts, your choices, and the way you treat yourself and others. In the sacred space between waking and sleeping, you hold the power to renew, to heal, and to grow. All it takes is a moment of mindfulness, a whisper of intention, and the willingness to begin again. Stay with me on this journey, as together we explore more ways to welcome true peace night after night, day after day. Awakening to a new way of sleeping, practicing the art of rest. As we come to the end of our journey together tonight, I invite you to pause, take a deep breath, and gently let go. Let's remember, sleep isn't something to chase or conquer. It's not another goal on your checklist or a finish line you have to cross. Instead, sleep is something you are meant to welcome, to receive, to open yourself to with softness and trust. The world often tells us to push harder, do more, worry longer. But as the night falls, you are offered a different wisdom. Set down the weight of the day. Breathe deeply. Allow your body and mind to be held in the quiet safety of the moment. Notice the gentle rise and fall of your breath, the softness of your bed, the peace that begins to gather in the silence. Each night, you are given a sacred opportunity, a chance to practice letting go, to trust that life will continue unfolding, with or without your effort, your worry, or your striving. The world will still turn, the sun will rise, and you are allowed, truly allowed, to rest. Think of sleep as an act of faith, a quiet surrender that opens the door to renewal and healing. When you let go, even for a few hours, you allow your body to restore itself, your mind to clear, and your spirit to find its way back home. In this simple act, there is power, there is beauty, and there is freedom. So tonight, give yourself permission to rest, really rest. Breathe out the burdens of the day. Let your heart soften. Allow stillness to embrace you. And when you wake, do so with gratitude. Remember that each new day is a fresh beginning, a new chance to live fully, to love deeply, and to walk through life with presence and peace. As you move forward, may you carry with you the gentle lesson that sleep is not an escape, but a practice, a mindful, compassionate return to yourself again and again. If you found peace or comfort in this video, I invite you to join our mindful community by subscribing to the channel. Share this journey with a friend who might need a gentle reminder to rest. And if you'd like more reflections on mindful living and restful sleep, don't forget to turn on notifications so you'll never miss a new video. Thank you for being here. Take care, rest well, and I look forward to seeing you again on this peaceful path.